Hi guys, I hope you're all doing good. I have missed you all so much. I told you in my last video that I was going to do a video about signs that people can give you after they die. And for those of you who know, unless you're new to watching my channel, my husband passed away in March, and we had always talked about whoever went first to give the other one a sign. So when my husband died, he actually gave me 2 signs. They were definite signs from him. There was no doubt in my mind. The first sign he gave me it was actually the next day. He died around midnight on the 25th. And my daughter arrived the next morning with her boyfriend. And that day was kind of like a blur. The whole thing just seemed like a bad dream. And you're going through something like that, it's just like happening around you, and it's like you're not even there, it's not even real. So I'm just kind of absorbing it all that day and letting things settle in a little bit. By that afternoon, I said to my daughter, I'd like to get out of the house, let's go for a ride. And we ended up going, for about an hour drive, and we drove by a McDonald's. And I hadn't eaten anything all day. I just couldn't eat. And I could smell the French fries and burgers going by McDonald's, and I said, let's go through the drive-thru and pick up some cheeseburgers. Even though I wasn't really that hungry, I was able to maybe take 2 bites of the cheeseburgers. But it was nice getting out and just getting some fresh air and just coming to a little bit. And I really hadn't had any sleep the night before, and it was just crazy. So we headed home and parked in the garage and walked up the stairs into the house. And we're standing in the front foyer, we're taking our coats off, and all of a sudden, we hear somebody say, Colleen. It was a man's voice, and it sounded just like Wendell, and he always said my name kind of, I don't know how to say it the way he does, but he had an Oklahoma accent. And the 3 of us kind of stood there like, what was that? And then we heard it again. Jen's boyfriend, Mike, at this point was just like, he was like ready to run out of the house, I think. It was the first time he had ever been here, and he had never met Wendell before. And so the 3 of us are kind of like just looking at each other, and then the 3rd time, it was like a definite Colleen in Wendell's voice. And I was so tired, I said, oh my God, I says, this is all a bad dream. It really didn't happen. Wendell's right in the kitchen. And then all of a sudden we hear this laughing, and it was my parrot. And she has my laugh, and she laughs just like me, and she's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then she's like, ah, she sighs at the end. And Jen said, has the bird ever said your name before? And I said, no. I says, we've had over 20 years, and I says, and the bird has never said my name. And Mike looked at me, we all looked at each other, and Mike said to me, wow. He says, your husband must have been smart. He says, because who would pick their own parrot to communicate with their wife in their voice to let them know that it's okay on the other side, and that he's still with you? And I said, only Wendell would do something like that. So it was kind of scary at first because we didn't know what the voice was, and then when we figured out it was the bird, it was like very comforting. And I'm sure that was him letting me know, because my bird has never, ever said my name before. The whole time we've had her. And we had her from the time she was a baby. And she's never said my name. She said Wendell, she calls the dogs and everything else. But that was the first sign he gave me. The second sign was, I went to a lawyer, and to get all the, paperwork that you have to do when someone passes away. And I went in and sat down. I had a bunch of paperwork with me, and we were talking about the whole thing and the will and stuff like that. My husband and I had never made out a will. We had talked about it the last few years. Everything was in joint names, so that if one of us passed, everything would just go to the other person. So anyways, back in, I think it was 2002 or 2003, Wendell had made a will, and it was just his will leaving everything to me. And he never had it notarized or anything, but in Maine, in the state of Maine, there is such a thing that is legal called a holographic will, which is a handwritten will, and it's signed and dated, and it doesn't have to be notarized, and it's legal in the state of Maine. So, seeing we never had it notarized, and we never went, we had been talking about it fairly recently to have our wills done up and everything, and, just in case. So the lawyer asked me, she said, did Wendell have a will? And I said, God, I says, it was from 2002, and I says, never had it notarized or anything. And she says, is it handwritten and dated and his signature? I said, yeah. And I says, but I don't know what I did with it. I says, I think I might have stuck it up in my closet. I have like a shoebox up there. I don't know. Oh, I just forgot all about it, and over the years, I've gone through there. I have pictures, old pictures and stuff like that stuck in with it. And last time Nicole came, we were looking through old pictures, and I think the will kind of like just got stuffed down the bottom. So after I left her office, I was like in a panic, like, oh my God, I hope I still have the will. So I drove home, I ran downstairs, ran into my closet here, lifted the cover on the box, and there was not only the will, but it was a brand new white envelope. And it had blue ink on top that said Colleen. And I know I didn't put that in there. I don't know how it got there, when it got there, but I can't think of any other way to figure out another way that Wendell was kind of like watching over me. And when he probably knew, God, she's going to be a basket case and more airheaded than usual, so I better put this will right on top here just in case. The last week of his life, his first cousin had died, who was like a brother to him growing up, and a week to the day from when Wendell died. His cousin Joe died a week before Wendell died, and Wendell went into a really deep slump that week, and really never came out of it. He was just really depressed after he lost his cousin and just never came out of it. And he may have put it in the shoebox then. It may have happened after he died. But between, the parrot and the will being right on top of everything, right underneath the cover where I would find it right away, those are two things that I can't explain. I like to think that it's Wendell. Matter of fact, I know it's him because I still feel him around, and I know he's watching out for me, and I know that he's guiding me right now, and I feel it. So I hope that you're all having a wonderful day, and I missed you all, and I have a video to do with a bunch of things that people have sent me, and beautiful gifts and cards and things, kind of like a thank you video that I have coming up, and it's long overdue, and so that's going to be coming up soon. But I'll talk to you all soon, and I love you all, and thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.